We've talked about a lot of things at this point.
Yeah.
We talked about pre-law school, Matt.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about law school. And you keep mentioning this thing called the bar.
That little thing.
What is the bar?
The bar is the bane of every young lawyer's existence. Well, I shouldn't say lawyer because you're not a lawyer yet. Every young...
Is there drinking?
There is a lot of drinking if that's your cup of tea. But I will say the bar is an exam that is infamous by every lawyer as being the worst part of becoming a lawyer. And for good reason. It's a hard exam.
So,
it is hard.
So it's a test.
Big test.
What is it testing?
It's the test. It tests across a bunch of areas of law. All those classes I talked about earlier, all those bar classes, they're in this exam. And it's not open book. You get no notes. You're not expected to cite cases in it, and we're not really going to get into the minutia of what the bar exam entails, but there are 2 written portions and a multiple choice. All of the law is covered in those sections. All the law of the bar classes, family law, civil law, criminal, all the ones I listed are in that exam.
And even ones that you might not take, like estates.
Secured transactions.
So it's an exam.
Yes.
Obviously, I know how I prepared for it. I took a series of classes in a course called Barbary, which I think still exists today.
Very much so.
What did you do?
I want to ask. Hold on. I want to ask more about that. Did you actually go to like a classroom to do bar prep?
Yes, I did.
Okay, so you would go to a class with all your Barbary people.
Yes.
And they would go over the law with you? Like it was just like going to law school again, kind of?
It was just like going to law school again. Each day was either 1 or 2 topics. They were split out across the day. I think the class each day was maybe 6 hours. And so the expectation was you went to the class, you got your 6 hours of education about whatever areas of law they were covering, and then at night you would be doing some additional work. And we had a schedule. They actually gave us a 7-day week schedule from, I think it was about 30 days out from the bar exam. And so, yes, I went to my classes. I followed the schedule.
I know they do. Barbary still exists. Barbary's one of the biggest bar prep programs you can buy. It's a few $1,000s, but it's good. It's good service. I have friends that use it. They loved it. There's other ones. Themis, I think is what it's called. Quimby does one. That's one I did. Quimby is the cheapest of them. But so, like Joe, I was on a set schedule. Quimby had and I know all the bar prep ones have a calendar that said, on this day you should be studying this, on this day you should be studying this, and then do a prep test on this day, study this, take a break, study this, study. Like it outlines it from the point you want to start. And Quimby was cool where I got to say, I'm starting bar prep this day. Give me my schedule leading up for a bar exam on this day.
Oh, that's helpful.
Really great stuff. And the constant number I kept hearing from everybody taking bar prep was get to 70% through the course by the time you take the bar exam, at least. Do more, great. But it hit 70% is the magic number, apparently. And Quimby was not like Joe's. I did not take classes. I know Barbary. I know people that did Barbary and Kaplan and Themis. They did have the online courses, but I think they were more like a lecture than like going and like actually being able to talk with the professor. Don't quote me on that, but from what I saw, it was like video stuff they were watching, which is fine. My bar prep was a bunch of multiple choice. Like I did 3,500 multiple choice questions from the time I started in early May up until I took the exam in July. I ended up doing like 3,500. I only did one written test.
Wow.
The whole time. Because I was a firm believer in I'm never going to know what they're asking of me on the test. I'm never going to be prepared.
Oh, that's a defeatist mentality.
I mean in a sense like I felt like I could get more information and get a better understanding of the law by doing multiple choice, getting the answer, and then doing that versus taking the exam, writing it, and then getting feedback from it. I felt like I learned better that way of trial and error and then recall versus total recall and then it being completely different on the exam. Like it felt like a waste of time and I felt like I just wanted to keep doing the videos, multiple choice. So each day was you do this course on this subject, like torts, we talk about negligence today. Here are the main cases you should know. Here are the main base black letter law, like but-for analysis, substantial factors, you name it. Like there was a day and a video dedicated to each one of these courses in each section, and then at the end of every video, I would take a 5-question test, and then I would do a long-form practice test, 50 questions, and then I would do a big one, like 100 questions. And so I was constantly, and it was for every area of law, I would go every day and do 100 multiple choice or near that much. And so for me, it was just like get as much practice as possible in the multiple choice, and that will feed into your essay writing. And for me, it worked. I know people that did a bunch of essays and did great on the logs on the bar exam too. So it just depends.
So I am very much a believer in what your mindset is when you go to do something, whether it's meeting a client, oral argument. What was your mindset going into the exam?
Well, I'll tell you, it was honestly fear failure, rampant fear failure, high anxiety. Everybody, like, oh man, you just took me back to Vietnam. Going in, I was confident that I did everything possible that I could to prepare for the exam. And if I failed, it was not for a lack of trying, because that's the worst thing you can do is go into an exam and go, man, I wish I'd have done a little bit more. I didn't have that feeling. I had the feeling of I'm as prepared as I could possibly be, and if it's not meant to be, it's not meant to be. And that to me was a very positive way to go in and not be like, oh, I'm going to crush this. This is going to be cake. Like, no one is thinking that, and if they are, they're delusional. I went in with the confidence of knowing I did everything I could. I'm ready as I could ever be, and I'm happy with however the results end up. And that avoids the panic. That avoids the oh man, I messed up so bad. I paid all this money, because the bar exam's not cheap. It's like $800 a pop, and all that par prep stuff costs thousands of dollars. And you have that writing on you. The best thing you can do for your psyche is go, I'm good enough because I put in the work, and I'm very comfortable with where I'm at with the knowledge. And that only comes from repetition. Treated bar prep and the classes like a job. I was fortunate enough where I had my wife, who's amazing, works very hard, was able to support our house and let me bar prep. Like, I treat it as a full-time job. 8 hours a day, I would study relentlessly. And I spent every moment I could do that, because the worst thing and my greatest fear was I fail this and I have to retake it again, and I have to wait to be a lawyer.
Did you pass the first time?
Thank God I did. And then I hugged you because you were sitting right next to me. We were at a conference, the AZAJ conference at McDowell, whatever. It was some big conference room with a bunch of lawyers listening to somebody talk, and the bar results came out, and I was the only one waiting for results in that whole room because everybody's already a lawyer. And I thought, how cruel would it be, me sitting here finding out I'm not a lawyer amongst all these lawyers? That would have been very cruel. Fortunately, I passed. Joe and I hugged, celebrated. And I did the first time. Did you pass the first time?
I did, and I'll tell you that I had the typical narcissistic mentality going into the bar. So I knew I did everything that I needed to do to be prepared. I felt like I knew enough information to pass, and I walked in. At the time, the pass rate was about 75% or so. I walked in, and I said to my friend, Carrie Gertrick, I said, she was nervous, and I said, Carrie, we are smarter than 80% of the people here. We are going to pass.
I love that.
And that was my mentality going in. So yes, I passed the first time.
Did you handwrite it?
Mine was handwritten.
Oh
yes.
man, dude, no way.
I had the claw at the end of it, my shorthand. Now, that said, there are some people that don't pass the first time. And we'll talk in a second about something new in Arizona. At the time, when I took the bar, the good thing is, if you fail, it is not the end of the world.
Nope.
Okay. Yes, it's a setback, but it's a setback where you can sort of reset your brain and say, okay, how do I move forward? And for some people, moving forward can be petitioning the state bar to rescore your exam, and in particular the essay. I know several people who asked to have their exam rescored, and it turns out that after it was rescored, they received enough points to then be considered to have passed the bar. Additionally, obviously, you can retake it. Not ideal, but again, it's better than just wallowing in your own sadness,
Yeah.
and not moving forward.
Yep.
And obviously, there is the possibility of just getting a job that requires a legal education, but not necessarily the law degree or the bar exam
Right.
and licensure. What's the newest development?
So that was a good segue. So they actually have in the state of Arizona, the passing bar score to become licensed in the state of Arizona is 270. It was 273 when I took it. They actually they lowered it a few days before they put the results out and said 270 works. Out of 300, I was good. Humble brags. But they actually started a new program. I think it was for this last bar cycle, where if you score a 260, 269, you can do, and it's called the Arizona Lawyer Apprentice Program. If you score a 260, 269, and you meet all the other requirements, which is character and fitness, we won't talk about that. But so it says you can practice law in. You may practice law in rural Arizona or public law firm under the supervision of a qualified Arizona licensed lawyer for a period of 2 years. I do not know anybody that's done that yet, but it is just another avenue. There's paraprofessionals that you can be licensed as if you don't ever pass the bar exam. Like, there are other ways to get involved in the legal community that aren't being a lawyer if you don't pass the bar exam, but you can also take it again. And the pass rate's not great on the second. It gets even worse every time after that. It's not even that good on the first try, but you can keep attempting. And if you're close, you might as well try and pass. Like, if you're not close, maybe another story.
Well, the apprenticeship. I mean, that is actually a very good option if you've almost passed,
Right.
missed by 10 points.
Yeah, I can't even. I know someone that has taken it 4 times now, and he was so happy to find out about this program.
So,
along with the bar exam too, you're going to be waiting on results for the bar exam. During the period leading up to the bar exam, when you're studying, you will have also given them you will submit an application to the Arizona Supreme Court or whoever handles the bar ethics for your legal community. Sometimes it's a independent organization known as the State Bar, or it's the Supreme Court. I admitted mine to the Supreme Court of Arizona, and it's character and fitness, and it is more comprehensive than an FBI background check. And you're expected to be fully forthcoming with any and all information about you, your life, any past mistakes. And when I say everything, it's traffic tickets, it's did you get in trouble in grade school, when did you pee last, what's your credit card, like, again, I was being facetious about the pee stuff, but like,
but
it's
the credit card
everything.
stuff, right? They're looking at, do you have financial problems?
Yep. Have you ever gone bankrupt? Have you been married? Where have you lived in the past 10 years? All those addresses. Give us every supervisor you've had for the past 10 years. Like, it's a lot. And make no mistake, if you're late on that or you have anything that hangs you up, you will not be a lawyer until they figure it out. And they're not fast. They are backed up. They don't get this stuff out quickly. I was one of those people that had to wait. I found my bar exam results out in October of 2023. I didn't become licensed until February of 2024 because I had to hold up on my character and fitness. I passed. We're good. But make no mistake, it was something very minor that caught me up. So you need to be forthcoming in your law school application, because they're going to look at that. You need to be good in law school. And if you have any baggage, traffic tickets, you murdered someone, you kind of need to tell them. And do not think you're going to get past it. You're just not. It is trial by right for everybody to go through that. So that's part of it. And then there's a lot of fees. So bar exam, character fitness, fees, and then yeah, that's it, man. That's post law school for you. And then and apply to a job during all that too. Yeah, if you don't got one, because some people don't get offered summer associate positions. So
that's a lot to do.
Hey, thanks for not making me apply to jobs during that time. That was really cool.
You're now a practicing lawyer.
I am.
And we're going to tie up our discussion here with maybe a piece of advice or wisdom for any listeners out there. Hopefully there's more than one. Thank you, Mom. Having gone through this process and now becoming a lawyer, is it worth it to people who are considering going through the process?
I'm going to say this right into the camera. Don't do it. No.
No. That's not the message.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, the positive one. Absolutely is worth it. Absolutely. Like, I'm fortunate enough to work in a great office with great people. Shout out. There's only 2 of us in here, but I'm pointing at the places of the people that make this place awesome to work at.
Shout out. Molly, Monique.
Yep.
You know who you are.
Suzanne, Al,
Liz.
Martin sometimes. No. Everybody here,
Liz.
we do exceptionally high quality work, and the people I work with are that they will speak to me in a way with care and candor that I don't think I would get anywhere else. And the road that took me here was paved with a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, and the support of people in this office in particular that is priceless to me, and something that has made all of this even more worth it. Should you go to law school? Good question. Do you want to be a lawyer? If the answer is yes, go to law school. If it's kinda, go to law school. It does open up a lot of doors for you. There are jobs outside of being a lawyer if it's not really what you want to do, and it's the quickest way to a doctorate. Period. So I wouldn't change a thing of my road. I think it's one of those that I was fortunate to come into the legal field as a paralegal under good people that wanted me to foster and bloom into something else, and to kindle use that as kindle to inflame my passion for the law, and it has. So for me, it is absolutely worth it. If you are at all interested in the law, I would say get working in an office in some capacity to find out if it's actually interesting to you. And if it's at all actually interesting to you, and you want to advocate for people and help, and you want to become a better writer, go to law school. Do it. And then become a lawyer, take the bar exam. It's hard. It's stressful. But I will tell you that I have become a better man, a better person in my community, and a better asset to people that need help. And I'll tell you that makes my life so much more than just waking up and going to a job. Like every day, I could change somebody's life today. And I don't have to sell them anything, and I don't have to be rude to people if I don't have to be. Like, really, I get a lot of, and control's not the right word, but a way to facilitate change and help people. So absolutely, the journey I've taken to get here wouldn't change a thing. I would advocate. I wouldn't say there needs to be more lawyers because I don't want competition at all. But if it's something you at all are interested in, go to law school and get a scholarship. But because it's not cheap. But if you're passionate, do it. So, what about you?
Yeah.
What about you? You still into this thing after all these years?
Having done this now almost 25 years, I would say it's definitely worth it. For me, the reward obviously is the work that we do and the clients that we're helping. As injury advocates, we're helping people when they've gone through something usually disruptive in their lives. Yeah. Sometimes temporarily disruptive and sometimes permanently disruptive. And being able to help them through that difficult time and get compensation for the injuries that they suffered, the damages that they had to endure, it's very rewarding to see, in our case, happy clients at the end every time. And I don't think for a minute, other than when I was doing defense billable hour work, I don't think I've ever looked and said, gosh, I wish I didn't do this. I do enjoy it, and I do enjoy the people I work with. I enjoy even the colleagues that I interface with on both the plaintiff and the defense side. It's been a very rewarding experience, and I'm definitely happy that I went through it.
Yep. Don't get us wrong. We like making money just like everybody else. But when you can do it and you can affect people's lives and make them somewhat whole again after losing sometimes everything, that means a lot. That means a lot. And there's nothing that makes me feel better than when I hand a check over to a client and say, I hope I never see you again. And they smile back at me and go, I hope I don't either. But if I do need you, I'll call you. Like I jones about that kind of stuff. It brings almost a tear to my eye thinking about the stuff that money can change, because money is being the root of all evil. It absolutely can change people's lives for the better. And I take great pride in that.
And I think we're going to end on that sentimental note.
Yeah.
Because we'll talk in the future about our cases, our clients, and issues that we come up against. But I think the good message to take away from today's podcast and our discussion is you can be a lawyer. You just have to set your mind to it. and it's worth it.
And figure out what you're good at, and figure out what you like, and what your capability is and endurance level is. Find out early. That way you're not upset later. Do it now. And be a lawyer.
Thank you for listening to the Injury Advocates Podcast.
We'll see you next time.